Let me know once it's visible. Is it visible now?
Not yet.
Let me share it again.
Yeah, now it's visible.
Okay. So, firstly, I will explain you the agenda of this particular session. So, our session will be divided in these 4 points. Firstly, we will give the exam overview, like how many questions and how much time we have. After that, we will discuss like who will get benefited, like what is the benefit of doing this delivery specialist exam, and then we will go deep dive on some of the topic. We can't cover all the topics, so we will focus the most important topics that are required for this exam. So we will discuss those topics, and also we will discuss the questions, like how the questions can be there, and there will be some questions can be come in different forms, so we will discuss those approaches. So I'm starting the flow with the exam overview. So, firstly, the exam is only 30 questions are there, and we have the time of 90 minutes. So, this is a quite sufficient time. You will never face that time foundation. So, this is a quite sufficient time, and you can easily complete all these questions in the time limit. And for clearing this, you need 21 questions need to be corrected. So, we have basically most important 5 points. Like, firstly, there are 6 dimensions. Next one is delivery core behavior and outsystem delivery methods. So these 3 topics are the most important. If you see, they are covering the 24 marks. Other 6 marks are coming from risk management matrices and project management matrices. So these 2 topics are also there. So firstly, we discussed who will get benefited. So, for individual, this certification really helps you to showcase your expertise, not only creating your application, but also helping you to manage the end-to-end delivery of any your project. It's boost your credibility. While when you are discussing with client or when you are going with your inside your company, you can showcase your this certification that you can handle the delivery challenge very carefully and effectively. And for the organization, if we say that okay, in organization we have 5 or 10 delivery specialists, it will say that your delivery process is standardized. Okay. If you have any question, I can't see the screen, so I'm sharing the ppt, so I'm not able to share this see your responses. So please interrupt me if you have any doubt on any of the point, so it will help me to understand. Okay. So continue with the organization part. Like if in any organization we have delivery specialists, that means we can standardize the delivery process. Okay, so that the project delivery will be smoother. So these are the benefits of for individual and as well as for the organizations. Next is we will cover the 3 topics of this exam, that are the 6 dimension. It comes with a 5 marks of the question. Next one is delivery specialist core behavior, that also come with the 5 marks, and other one is project delivery methodology, which includes 14 marks. So we will cover these topics. So these are the 6 dimensions: methodology, people, alignment, backlog, quality, and continuous improvement. Firstly, we will discuss about the methodology. So methodology defines how you will work in OutSystem. In previous technology, we have waterfall model, but in OutSystem, mostly we will use Agile and Scrum. So Agile help you to give fast delivery. It is short and fast delivery cycles and continuous feedback and iterative improvement. Like we will deliver a small part of code and then we will get a feedback and we will improve our next cycle. So this type of process we will use. So question can become like how many agile ceremonies we have. So they will give you the options like there will be sprint planning, retrospective, and reviews, UATs. So these will be the ceremonies of the agile methodology. So this type of question can arise. Second topic is people. So this is about team roles and responsibility. From developer to the tech lead, architect, product owner, all these are responsible for the success dependence delivery of the project. So we should have the right roles and right responsibilities, and they should be collaborate together. So for this topic, the question can become like, which is the role of, they can give you a scenario and they ask who is the responsible role for this particular thing. We are not talking about person, we are talking about the role. So this is the second topic. I hope this point is clear. Okay. Next, we will go with the alignment. Third one is alignment. So, alignment means on the first day of the planning, we discussed anything like we have to deliver this part of thing, like a loan application we need to deliver. And after that, there are some discussion ongoing. We are started development, but some discussion ongoing, and they just shift their focus. So the complete team should be aligned with the change of the business need. So in this particular dimension, we are saying that the complete team should be aligned with the project goal. So that's why we define the sprint goal. So the complete team should be aligned with the team goal. So for this particular point, I got two scenario based question. Like they can ask you, there will be a continuous changes in the business requirement of the uh, functional requirement of a project. So how, as a delivery specialist, you will handle this thing? They will give you option and you have to select anyone, the correct one. So in this case, the role of delivery specialist is to finalize the requirement and get a proper solution and decide that we are going with this, and we have to limit the changes. Like at one point we should decide this thing, like we will not take more changes after this. Once UAT or once a particular point has been crossed, we should not take that changes afterwards. And if there are more changes, either we will have to change the delivery timeline or we have to come up with the next post production changes. Okay, so this one is the alignment. Next one is backlog. So backlog is the engine of your project. So in backlog you should have at least n plus 1 stories, n plus 1 sprint stories should be ready with the prioritization. So if your backlog is ready, that means your flow is good. So good backlog management ensure that team is always working on the most valuable thing. And for this particular point, there can be questions like two questions, like 2 points are there. Definition, on the definition of ready and definition of done. So on this backlog point, they can ask on these two topics, and backlog should be clearly defined. Next one is continuous improvement. As the name suggested, like you have to do the iteration. So the iteration means we should learn and evolve, learn and evolve. After each sprint release, we should release our project in an incremental way. After each sprint, we should have the release. And the team reflect on work and what they didn't. So they have to go on that. Like they have to do the retrospective, like what went well and what doesn't. So in this way we can the team can improve themselves. So that's the responsibility of the delivery specialist. And last but not the least is the quality. So quality is not the only the QA's job. Quality means the code should be quality wise good. So code review is required. After that, testing, test cases, test scenarios should be checked. Performance, security, and even the UI UX part should be as per the quality. That means user experience should be good. So in these form, we have to go the complete 6 dimensions of the project delivery. Any questions so far? Okay, so I'll go to the next topic, that is delivery core behavior. So we have discussed the six dimension. So these are the main point, and then if you go to the content that is available in OutSystem, you will get the detailed part of it. But the core part is this. Next is delivery core behaviors. So we have these five delivery core behaviors. So we will go one by one on each of the core behavior. Okay, so these are required for the high performance of the project. Next, first one is the constant business alignment. This is about saying synced with the business goal, not just at start but throughout the project. So for this point, I can give you one example. I have already given this example, like building a loan application. Suppose at the starting point we have a complete scope, like we have a lengthy form that we have to ask user to fill, and then we have to do many of the validations and many of the things on that form. But after that, like we started this thing, but we got a business request, like we need a short application so that user can start the process easily. So we should get this request. As soon as we get this request, we have to analyze it and we have to provide a MVP part of that project, so that our focus will be on business alignment as well. So that we will simplify the step and a basic data entry, and then we can go with this release. And then we can incrementally do the detailed part of this. So this one is the constant business alignment. If the business request is changed, we have to change our approach. Second point is be the user. That is always, you always see this, listen this point in every meeting. Whenever your manager are there, you can see this point, like put yourself in user's shoes, because it's not about what we are delivering, because that should be useful for the client or technically for the end user. So always have to think about what user will do. For this, we don't have to do many big things. We have to do small things. For example, suppose there is a big form, and at the end there is a submit button. Okay, now this scenario, see, if user is going to fill half of the form and then there will be some internet correct or anything goes wrong, then user has to fill all data. Either you have to draft it, or a small simple approach is provide a floating next button or submit button so that user can save whatever data he has. It's just an example for this scenario, like be the user. That means think about user's point of view. Next one is communication hub. So delivery specialist should also be the person who can communicate, who can always include everyone in the communication. For this, one question has been raised, like if you are occupied with something as a delivery specialist and your tech lead and need some clarification, what you will do? That means you have to point out, you don't have to be part of each communication, but you have to point the person from where he can get his doubt clarified. So this is the part of communication hub. On this, I faced, I think, one question, that is they are saying a scenario and they are saying that, okay, what role or what behavior is represented by this sentence. So this type of questions will be there. So this is the communication hub. Next one is the organizational awareness. Organizational awareness, that means how the things done in the company. For example, you are working in a company where there is a very strict deployment policy, like they will do a 2 days of stress testing, 3 days of security testing. So you should mind this thing as a delivery specialist. Okay, I need 5 days for this. So whenever you are doing any planning, you have to think about these things, like what is the delivery strategy in your organization or in the client's organization. So this behavior is showing that organizational awareness. And last point is project steering. Project steering means that you are the responsible person for the project. You don't have to just complete your project, you have to handle blockers or anything. You don't have to just follow your uh, client's instructions blindly. You have to give him suggestions. Like sometimes clients think like we need to do this thing, you can suggest them better options. So for example, in a case like your team, as a delivery specialist, your team is blocked with some of the API or some of any configuration detail. So at that time, as a delivery specialist, you have to come up and connect with the teams, whatever is blocking them, you have to just clear that blockage. You don't have to go and work with them, you have to just clear that blockage. That's the work of the delivery specialist. So these are the delivery core behaviors that we need to follow. Next point, this is the biggest topic in delivery specialist, and it will uh, contain 14 mark questions comes from this part. So this diagram is the core of this particular topic. So we have these steps, 6 steps of delivery. First one is setup. Setup means we got a request of project and now we are just preparing the uh, platform, like what will be the requirement, and just it is the project scope finalization. These many things will be discussed in step 1. Here we have very less number of peoples. Like in project preparation phase, we don't have any delivery team or QA team. Here we have the solution architect, tech leads, and these type of peoples will participate in this type of meetings. So in this phase, you have many limited number of peoples, and after that, once this part is done, then we go in the initiation phase. Initiation phase is the first or second week of the project part. Here we will define the user stories iteration, like what is definition of ready and what is definition of done. Here we will decide high level iteration settlement. What is the story? We will start the delivery kick off, like what is there. Vision document we will write, and app skeleton will be written there. So these will be the initiation phase. And who are the members of this? So we have to think about this part. Like they can ask a question like, who are the main roles will be available in initiation phase? So this can be asked. Basically 2 questions like definition of ready and definition of done will be asked in this part. Definition of ready, that means your user story has cleared requirement, acceptance criteria is written, all the blocking things like you have the UI, you have if it's using any API, you have the API ready, tested, all the configuration detail, all the structure should be provided. That means that your user story is ready. And definition of done is that user story should be developed, tested by QA, and accepted. So these are the definition of ready and definition of done. After that, once the initiation phase is done, uh, for initiation phase we can have one question like there will be a question. I'm just giving an example, it's not in part of my exam, but I'm just find this question very useful, that's why I'm sharing. Suppose there is a question, what typically include in definition of done? So there are options. Functional requirement are captured. Second one is user story is tested and accepted. User um, UX design is ready and story is shaped. So can I get an answer from anyone? Like I have explained this point, and if I get an answer, then the session will be in some interactive part. So I will repeat the question and points. What's typically include in definition of done? First one is functional requirement are captured. Second one is user story is tested and accepted. User UX design is started, and last one is story is shaped.
Option 2.
Sorry.
Option 2.
Yeah, yeah. The correct option is for done. It should be tested and accepted. Correct. Yeah. Thanks. Next one is third phase is iteration and development. So we have 3 steps: shape, build, and accept. So this 3 part are the iterative phase. So in the shape, we will prioritize backlog and define the story. So in this particular process, in the shape process, we have the refinement calls. Okay, if we discuss like what sprint ceremony will be there in the shape, it will be refinement. Next one is build. That means the dev team is starting building the solution. UI UX will be there. And then last one is accept. That means story is developed and it's moved to test environment and validated by the QAs. So suppose, for example, I'm just giving you a scenario. In sprint 3 or 4, we developed a story of bulk upload. Okay, there is a story of bulk upload and we have completed the story. But now the requirement was not fulfilled because they are saying that before doing the bulk upload, you are not doing the validation of the file. So now we have to think about this scenario. We have to again define the story and we have to build it again. That means in the first phase, we build a bulk upload story. We created a story for bulk upload. In build phase, we developed that story. And in the last phase, acceptance testing has been done. And then we get a feedback like, okay, validation should be there before uploading the file. So now again, we go to the shape part and build it and again do the acceptance testing. So this is the project delivery part. Next one is solution release. Now we have a small part of our project has been created. Now we have to release it. So before release, what we have to do? Most important part that we need to do before release is the user acceptance testing. That is a UAT. So we have to conduct a testing for the customer point of view, customers part. We have to prepare a rollout plan, like when this thing will be go on live, and then we have a stabilization phase. Stabilization phase, that means it will be moved to prod and we have to check that thing. We have to monitor that thing, like everything should be there. So UAT and go live, there are two things. First one, if you go see in the diagram, first one is the UAT. Once we check UAT is user acceptance testing is done, then there are multiple phases, then only we will go live. If we got any feedback in the UAT, we have to go again in the iteration phase. And if we got a go ahead from the UAT phase, then we will go to the rollout plan. And then the complete release planning, like what will be there, do we need to block the user interface, what will be the downtime of the application, these all things will be decided in the rollout plan. And after that, we have that go live phase. Once go live phase is done, then you are project is delivered on production, but you have to monitor, like suppose my application go to prod and now I'm seeing that any specific action is causing timeout. So this is the monitoring part. Like we have to, once the product is delivered on the prod, we have to monitor it for at least some days, like everything is working fine. And if we got anything that is not working, we have to tune it. We have to get the feedback. And if anything is missing, then we have to do some minor code changes. So this is the post production. So this particular cycle will be go again. And last one is the closure phase. Like we have delivered one thing and now we have to wrap up that part. So wrap up that part, that means we will share whatever we have created. We have shared all the matrices. This part should contain project matrices, risk matrices, these many matrices, like what went well, how much time we take, how much efforts are taken. So these many things will be covered up in the closure part. So this is the project delivery methodology. If you go to the content of OutSystem, then you will get detailed idea on this. But this is the most important part. And multiple questions will be come there from this part. Any doubts still here? Okay. Now, let's go to the next part. Questions and explanation. I'm just discussing some questions here. So first question is, the delivery specialist is currently occupied with a high priority task and will be unavailable for next few hours. Meanwhile, a tech lead has a question about the user story that is blocking the development process. So what should be the delivery specialist do in this situation? First one is recommended that tech lead directly connect with the BA to clarify the doubts. Second one is ask the tech lead to wait until the delivery specialist become available. And last, provide a suggestion to the tech lead based on their own assumption about the requirement. What should be the correct answer?
A.
Yeah, correct answer is A. So tech lead delivery specialist, I am also previously also explained this thing. Delivery specialist should not be a part of each and every call. His main aim that communication should be there. He should not participate each call. If he is not available, he should allow person to communicate or just direct person to communicate with the required person. So this question is answer is A. Now same question is available in different format. This same question you will see the same scenario, but this point will be changed. Like what core behavior of delivery specialist should be shown here. So what will be that answer? If the last point of the question has been changed from like what should he do in this situation, it will be changed like what core behavior does he show in this point. Then the answer will be communication hub, because he is trying to communicate, allow the communication between different nodes or different peoples. So in this line he is showing a behavior of communication hub. Okay, so the same question can be come in two different parts. Correct answer is A, but I have explained you that this question can be come in a different way as well. Now, second question is, when should risk be disclaimed? First option is during initiation phase and solution release phase only. Second one is coupled with the project ceremonies like iteration planning, status update meetings, etc. And last is always have exclusive meetings to discuss and work on risk. Do not interfere it with other ceremonies. What should be the correct answer? Okay, let me answer it. So risk can be started at any phase, on the starting phase to the iteration phase, and it even on the release phase. So we have to check the risk at each phase. So it can't be only in the initiation phase or the solution release phase. It will be part of each phase. And we can't plan special meetings for risk assessment. We have to make it in the daily part. Like in daily iteration, whenever we have the status update meeting, we have to check like if there is any risk so that we can mitigate that risk on early stages. So that's why the correct answer is the coupled with project ceremonies like iteration planning, status update meeting. So we have to discuss the risk on each phase as well as in each meetings as well. Like iteration planning or status update meeting, we have to discuss the risk. Even while doing the refinement of the story, there also we can raise the risk. So that's the correct answer is B. And one more question is there. Which of the following scenario best represent steering behavior by a delivery specialist? Delivery specialists organize a team building activity to improve morale. The delivery specialists work directly with the end user to improve UI design. The delivery specialists challenge a last minute feature request to protect the sprint goal and suggest revisiting it in the next planning cycle. And last one is the delivery specialist help a new developer understand how to use OutSystem tools more effectively. So in this, we have to explain like project steering. Maybe there will be multiple options that can be correct for the delivery specialist role. But here they are talking about the project steering behavior. So we have to think about like what is related to project steering. Team
The
building
answer is
activity.
option A.
Yeah, yeah, please. Yeah, can you repeat your answer if you're answering any?
Answer is A.
D,
C.
C. Correct. C is the correct answer. Because in the first point, the delivery specialist organize a team building activity. It's not about the team building. We have to think about the project should be go in the correct line. Our delivery should be planned. Second one is the delivery specialist work with the end user to improve the UI design. So this particular line is showing the behavior of be a user. Third one, the delivery specialist challenge a last minute feature request. Now we got a feedback from the users like we need to change this feature. But if we change this feature, we can't um, deliver our sprint goal. That's why. So the project direction will get changed and our delivery will get changed. So this one is the correct answer. So similar questions they can give you the scenario like they give a specific scenario and shows ask you like which role should be explained here. So this type of questions will be there, but it's not that much tough. You can easily clear, just go through the content and you can clear all these questions. So these are the some small tips and tricks that I can explain you. Over to you, Shubham. That's all. I think if anyone has any question, he can ask.
Yeah. So guys, the Q&A is open. Okay. So if you have any questions related to the topics, important topics of this delivery, especially which Shipra has mentioned, or any other topic, if you have already preparing for it, and you have any questions, please ask. And I will say not just the exam point of view, Shipra has a lot of experience working in actual projects also. So you can ask real time projects related questions as well, which you think which will be related to this delivery specialist exam. Okay, so no worries. So if you guys don't have any questions, you would have this recording available, right? I believe this would be a very good recording for anyone in the future who are preparing for delivery specialist certification. So thank you so much, Shipra, for giving your expertise and explaining things like this, especially the questions part. It would very helpful. So thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, let me just share my screen so to discuss about the next thing which we have. So I believe everyone knows that now the hackathon is coming, right? And I believe you are all excited about it, right? But what we have noticed that there is lot of people submits their team in the hackathon. Like there is 100 plus teams submits in the hackathon, but at the end only 20 or 30 teams submit their project. So that is why we are creating or we are planning an hackathon preparation series which will be on June month. So there will be three sessions planned, and the first one is starting from the next June 6th. So this first session would be taken by Nuno Rees. Okay, so if you know Nuno, he has been guiding many teams in the hackathon. He has conducted a hackathon in Chennai user group as well. So this is a co-hosted series, and in the first session, we are covering a full journey of the hackathon. So how should you create your team? How should you submit the project and everything related to that? So if you are interested in the hackathon, right, the registration will be open on 6th of June, right? And then you can all registration will be open on 2nd of June, my bad. But yeah, this session is there in the 6th of June, so you can uh, RSVP for this session. Do join this session. It would be very helpful if you are preparing or if you are interested in the hackathon. And we are also with two more sessions where we will we will bring one of the team, Snehilaya, who has submitted their project into production, so who has actually helped an NGO. And one more session we are planning with last year Innovation Award winner team. So what kind of innovation that they have done to win an innovation award in the hackathon. So these three sessions we are planning in the month of June, which you guys can definitely check out. Uh, okay, last I would ask if you can turn on your video for a quick second. We can take a screenshot. Okay. Hmm. I believe people know right now that I would have asked for this, so they were ready. Thank you, Arshad. Okay. Yeah. Others, if you can quickly turn on your video, let me just stop the recording.